Alright, right off the bat, the first thing I want to say about... This is mostly going to be about Dhalsim, because obviously I used to play Dhalsim, so I'm more aware of what I'm looking at. Is it just me, or is his teleport insanely fast and also quiet in this game? Like, there used to be, or at least in Street Fighter V, there's a big loud, like, sci-fi sound effect when he disappears and reappears, but in Street Fighter VI, it seems really muted. He's just gone and then he appears. Like, that's going to be hard to react to, I think. I guess you can use parry to cover both sides. Damn, there's so much to talk about and it's so quick. Next thing on the list. This combo right here, jab, jab, EX fireball, is odd. There's absolutely no way that would work in Street Fighter V. EX fireball is way too slow. So they've either made his jabs do a lot more hit stun, or I might go slow. Yeah, you might be. I don't know. If I go slow mode, there's going to be long sequences of filler. But anyway, yeah. So they've either made EX fireballs super fast, or jabs now do a lot more hit stun for that to be possible. God, Dhalsim animates so nicely in this game. They've given every single normal this like really rubbery feel to it. Air fireballs. Yeah, so they've kept that intact from... This is a carryover from Street Fighter V, the final season. But basically it seems like every air special in Street Fighter VI is going to be a forced juggle state. This is basically the same as it is in Street Fighter V. The only difference here is that the forced down state from 6, it doesn't start at juggle potential 0. So for example, if you air-to-air a float in Street Fighter V, you can do like a normal afterwards because they're in the lowest possible juggle state. But in 6 you have to go into specials. As you saw there, DJ's heavy kick whiffs. So that's something to be aware of. So you can juggle here, but you can't go into normals. God, that teleport is fast. This normal. What is going on with this normal? We've seen this twice now. This is the second time we've seen this normal. This normal looks like the god of anti-airs. Look at the angle on this thing. In Street Fighter V, Sim has to use about like 10 different anti-airs to cover all the different angles. But this thing looks like it'll just beat everything. Unless it's got a horrible hitbox that we don't know about. I'm kind of curious about this. What is even the input for this? Is this like down back heavy kick or something? No idea. But I'm really curious about this normal for 2 reasons. It's a Guilty Gear 6P. So as I said, it looks like it's got a really good anti-air hitbox, but also you'll notice after DJ gets hit here, he doesn't air reset, he doesn't flip out. He gets put into a juggle state. So not only does that thing look like a very good anti-air just from a hitbox perspective, you might get a combo off it if you're lucky. Pretty cool. Man, I can't get through 2 seconds without seeing something I have to talk about. Did you guys see this? Sim players in Street Fighter V saw this and had to go change their underwear. This thing right here. Did you see that? Did you notice? If you're not a Sim player, you probably just think it's just a normal hitting from half screen. It's just a Sim normal. That's how they work. If you're a Sim player, you saw this and went, what in God's name is going on here? Because in Street Fighter V, Dhalsim's jump medium punch, which is exactly the same as this normal right here, is hard-coded to never, ever, ever be able to hit grounded characters. You can only use it as an air-to-air. Even if you have like standing Abigail or standing Sagat, the fist just goes right through their face. It cannot physically hit grounded characters because I think Capcom felt it would be too much. Especially if you're floating. They probably thought that float jump medium punch would just control too much space with too little risk, because it's not like a standard medium punch. You just hit the ground and recover instantly. But now you can float and jump medium punch and it will hit grounded characters, which is potentially a huge deal. Dhalsim might be cheap in this game. I mean, he's cheap in every game, but he might be extra cheap in this game. There's the drive impact. Stand medium punch. That crouch medium punch, I was gonna pause, but I'll let it play out. You see, I saw it a few times there. The crouch medium punch is also a big thing I want to talk about, but I'll explain why later. God, that's so cool. I'm not going to talk too much about DJ stuff because, like I say, this is mostly sim-centric, but this is so crazy. So he can feint. I mean, I already knew he could like feint his specials, but that is so hard to react to. He does EX Fireball, feint into a forward dash, into a throw. Good luck reacting to this. On day one, this is guaranteed. No one is going to react to that on day one. I really like what they've done to DJ with all of these like feints and changes of momentum. Oh, here's another thing I want to talk about. Did you guys see this as well? And this is hard to see. I'm going to go back a couple frames. Another thing about Street Fighter V Dhalsim you may or may not know is that he's not allowed to have more than one projectile on the screen at any given time. The only exception is Super. He can have Fireball and Super on the screen at the same time. But it seems to be the case here that you'll notice near DJ's knee, the first Fireball hasn't disappeared yet, but he's already in the startup of the grounded Fireball. So it seems like Dhalsim might be able to have multiple projectiles out at the same time, because normally, like I say, in Street Fighter V, if you tried to do this, you wouldn't even go into the startup of the next Fireball, because the previous one's still on the screen. You would just get Stand Fierce, even if you input Fireball, because the other one's not gone yet. So it does look to me like Sim probably is going to have multiple Fireballs on screen at once, which is a big deal. Because he's got so many different ways of using Fireball in this game. He's got grounded Fireball, he's got air Fireball, he's got bouncing Fireball, arcing Fireball, tons of shit. The more things you can fill up the screen with, the better. Yeah, this is going to be Morrigan Astral Vision levels of bullshit. Punish counter on Stand Fist. Crouch medium punch again. There's this new jump fierce out of float. This is a really important normal in Street Fighter V, but it looks like it's been nerfed a bit in 6. His normals feel shorter, right? It's hard to tell until we actually get to play him. Like, stand medium kick just there. This looks pretty much identical to... that looks practically identical to Street Fighter V stand medium kick in terms of range and startup. So, who knows? I mean, we don't know the actual inputs, I'm just describing them in terms of Street Fighter V normals. So this normal, I don't know if it'll be as spammable as it was in Street Fighter V. There is a point where, I don't know if it's here where Dhalsim gets whiff punished for using it. Yeah, this is the big one. Yeah, so it looks like DJ's level 1 super, on punish counter at least, crumples you. So, in general, in Street Fighter 6, pretty much every normal has a longer lingering hurt box, and I wouldn't be surprised at all if Dhalsim is also a lot more whiff punishable in this game. Because one of the reasons Dhalsim is so strong in Street Fighter V is that his main poke on the ground, stand medium kick, is very difficult to whiff punish. It's very spammable. You can whiff punish it, but it's still difficult, even after the nerfs. So stuff like this is probably quite common. God, look at that forward dash. I just want to show you guys. Look at the range and speed of Dhalsim's forward dash compared to Street Fighter V here. Zoom. He's just there. Wild. Cool combo. Doesn't quite kill. Yoga Fire. I love how slow EX Yoga Fire is as well. The slower the projectile, the better as far as I'm concerned, because it gives you more time to build space and also more time to set up a mix-up. The EX Yoga Fire here looks extremely slow moving, but also extremely fast startup and recovery. So I think that'll be strong. Let's get that meterless 2-hit fireball. I'm assuming this is heavy kick slide. It looks a bit different and a little bit shorter range than in Street Fighter 5. But I assume that was heavy kick slide going under the fireballs there. Float fireball. Yeah, drive impact could end up being a big problem for Sim, but we'll see. It'll hit you out of float at that height. Yoga fire. Oh, this is an important thing to notice. Let me So this is presumably stand heavy kick. We saw this normal in the very first reveal trailer for Dhalsim, converting from full screen into a drive rush, and there was some speculation that this thing, because it's drive rush cancelable, that probably means it's also special cancelable, although we don't know for sure unless they've changed the rules, but that probably does mean that this is special cancelable. But the price of a full screen special cancelable normal, as you will have noticed, is that it does seem to whiff on crouch. So this isn't just like autopilot full screen combos from any opportunity. It seems like a reasonable trade-off. Drive rush cancel, but you can't hit crouching characters. I think this part is where Dhalsim gets his ass beat. Rush down from DJ. Looks like DJ's still got his crouch medium kick that's also a sweep. Teleport out the corner. My favourite throw animation in the game. The slaps. And then we finally get it. We finally get to see the full level 3 animation. I've been waiting for this for so long. He does the Yoga Shangri-La. My only complaint here is that the Yoga Shangri-La doesn't end with the little ding sound effect. This should end with a little ding. I'm sorry. It's not a true Yoga Shangri-La unless there's the ding at the end. You guys don't know what I'm talking about. Go look up his Ultra 2 in Street Fighter 4. Maybe the CA version gives you the ding. I'm not sure. Okay, so you remember I said earlier about how I wanted to talk about crouch medium punch, but I wanted to wait until later? This is why. This is why right here. It's special cancelable. This normal that goes about, I don't know, like half screen-ish? This thing. This thing is special cancelable, which I think is an extremely important detail about Dhalsim in Street Fighter 6, because for the people who watch this stream regularly, you'll know that whenever I get asked, am I going to play Dhalsim in Street Fighter 6, my response is always, I don't know, but if anything's going to make me not want to play him, is if he's completely free to drive impact. Because I thought drive impact is a scary mechanic, and it's very rare that Sim can special cancel his long range buttons. So I was like, if he's just free to drive impact, I am not playing this character. I'm not gonna subject myself to that if people just press 2 buttons in neutral and destroy zoning. So seeing that this crouch medium punch is special cancelable is immensely relieving, because if it's special cancelable, as you guys know, that also means it's drive impact cancelable. So if I'm sitting at this range, spamming my crouch medium punch, and my opponent tries to drive impact through it, I can just counter it with my own drive impact, because it's special cancelable. So I think this is going to be a really, really important button. The fact that it's actually special cancelable, I don't know if will be useful, because it doesn't seem to do much block stun or much hit stun. You know, this sequence here, crouch medium punch into high EX fireball, looks like it's got about a 10,000 frame gap in the middle. So I don't know if the actual special cancel is useful, but the fact that you can cancel it into drive impact and drive rush also to convert from that distance, I think is going to be extremely important. Depends how much hit stun it does. Maybe you can convert off it. Pre-order now. Buy this game. So my feelings about this is basically that a lot of my concerns about Dhalsim potentially being bad due to the system mechanics are starting to disappear. But also, of all of the new footage, I feel like the Dhalsim stuff was still kind of reserved. There was a few cool moments, but overall it wasn't as flashy as the other characters. You know, in the other trailers you've got like what's his name, JP doing 25-minute long juggles off an anti-air, whereas the Dhalsim thing, I think the only combo we saw in the entire thing was like jab jab EX fireball and crouch fierce flame super. So we still don't really know anything about Dhalsim's combo structure. It was more DJ than Dhalsim, but even still, I think there's a lot of useful little things that we've learned here.